Folks, the God of War Honest Gaming history is complete, so now I can focus on more fun things. Recommending you guys that heat. And today, we're talking about another manga from the Saturday AM catalog. From the mind of Whyt Manga, this is a story that gives me Avatar vibes mixed with Hunter x Hunter vibes. And if more people give it a read, I truly feel like this manga can become one of the greats. But enough teasing. Today, we are talking about Apple Black. By the way, folks, Whyt Manga also has his own YouTube channel, so y'all should definitely check him out there. And on said channel, he even has a dub of the first 4 chapters of his manga. Like, that is so fire. But yes, please check him out. And also, you might want to stay till the end of the video because he was so kind as to answer some questions that I had about Apple Black and just about his career as an artist and a manga creator. Alright, but with that being said, let's get into the story of Apple Black. So our story begins with some plot exposition. You know, we gotta set up the scene, we gotta let people know what the hell's going on. In this world, a bunch of years ago, a random tree descended from the sky and dropped a fruit called Black. And this fruit had the ability to turn humans into sorcerers. However, as time went on, Black became extinct, and the magic running in people's bloodlines started to wither away too. So all the sorcerers are freaking the hell out because right now they're used to a world with magic, but it's quite possible this world may not exist in the future. They gotta go back to using normal shit, and damn, hold up. That's kind of crazy because if y'all are relying on magic so much, what if you're not relying on like just pure science to make technology? That means y'all gotta start from scratch. Y'all gotta revamp all the magic technology you made, turn it into technology that can just use electricity and shit, and try to make that work for the whole world. Nah, I would be pissed too. That's wild. This fruit dropped from the sky and promised us magic, and you have the audacity to go extinct? We need the magic in our blood, bro. Black, come back. But there is some good news, or rather bad news, depending on how you see it. A sorcerer found Apple Black seed particles and started doing research on it, right? But he kept it secret. But because sorcerers be wildin', they killed that dude. But they killed him without first getting the whereabouts of where the seed particle research is. So basically all the sorcerer bloodlines decided to start going to war looking for this research. I understand it's gonna suck having to go to a world without magic, but there is no need to go to war, fam. This is a lot. And all this warring got so bad that these guys called the Eli Prophets prophesied this would lead to something called the Infinite Night, basically the worst thing that could happen to the world. But there is hope. In the same prophecy, they state that this may not come to pass as long as a boy blessed by Merlin, the god of sorcery, is born. And that boy, who will be known as the Trinity, will dawn the Infinite Night. So basically, sorcerers be wildin', and because of that, the world may end, but there may be a chosen one who can save the world. And just like that, we move to the present and see exactly who this chosen one is. Some kid named Sano. Turns out the researcher who found the Apple Black seed particles and was doing research on them was his father, and he was murdered as well as his whole clan, so he has no family. The only friends he has are Whyt, this mutant. They are very specific about saying mutant, not monkey, his mentor, Angelo, and some other lady named Miss Naomi who we'll see later. However, Sano now seems to be ready for the outside world. So now Angelo is taking him to Black Bottom Island where he's gonna join his first guild. And Sano is so fucking hype, even though Whyt dead ass shit on his shoulder. Like, I'm not kidding. This fucking mutant shat on his shoulder for no reason. And all Sano wants to do is make new friends. How is he gonna make new friends when he smells like shit? The fuck? I thought Whyt was gonna be a cool animal companion or mutant companion or whatever, but nah, Whyt is an asshole. But as they're entering Black Bottom Island, of course, some wild shit gotta happen, cause plot. So this guy named Grudon Fatimunga from this group called the Banburi Rebels is breaking into the island as we speak. Now we cut to the guild. We find our sensei character named Mikhail talking about how difficult it is gonna be for these guys to graduate and actually join the guild. Like, he's straight up like, I don't know how you guys even got here, but I'm gonna let y'all know right now, y'all gonna be lucky to make it out alive of this one. Homie really says at this rate, none of you will graduate. But he's a sensei character, so you know he got a heart on him. He's probably doing this because he knows this sorcerer world ain't the shit you want to be a part of, fam. We'll see soon as we get into the story. This world is very cutthroat. Anyway, now we cut back to Sano, who is severely directionally impaired, so he's just trying to find his way to his class. Mind you, he still smells like shit, just letting you know that now because it's important for the plot. But as he's searching, out of nowhere...
What was that for?
Ha!
Didn't know the Trinity smelled like garbage. I dodged like one too.
So this guy's name is Ryuzaki, and homie has problems, bro. Like, we always talk about how characters want nothing but the smoke, but bro, this man Ryuzaki lives and breathes pure smoke. It's to the point where Sano's like, I guess this is how he likes making friends, just fighting people, cause cool. And this is where we find out that Sano is a teleporter. In fact, everybody from his family was teleporters. And though it's small, I really like that. I like when the main character gets very indirect or passive powers. It allows the main character to have room for creativity. You know, if you just give a main character bland ass fire powers, it's still gonna look cool, but unless you find a cool way for them to use it, it could be boring real quick. But anyway, while he's running away from Ryuzaki, he runs to some dude named Simon, and Simon is sus. Even Sano calls it out, bro. Like, homie knows a little too much and is trying to seem a little bit too oblivious, and I don't know why. So right now, I don't trust Simon. Also, I should add that both Ryuzaki and Simon are calling Sano the Trinity. So it seems like rumor has been spreading around the guild that the Trinity was going to be entering the guild. However, according to Simon, a lot of people think this whole Trinity thing is a bunch of nonsense, which to me sounds like shit has gotten so bad in this world that they don't even believe in a savior anymore. Which once again, says a lot about the world that we're entering here, you know? Like, this shit, it doesn't seem that dark from the beginning. It seems kind of happy-go-lucky, wondrous, magical world and all that shit, but these little small parts that are thrown into the story let you know that this place ain't happy, bro. Shit is going down and people are not good. Anyway, Ryuzaki finds Sano and Simon. Turns out Ryuzaki and Simon are actually friends. But before shit pops off even more, Teacher Kun comes in and he is pissed. He yells at them, basically calls them trash, and then brings them back to the guild. There, Sano meets his class. Then we cut to Madame Naomi, remember the lady I told you we were gonna meet later, and Angelo. Now, to give you an idea of the hierarchy here, Madame Naomi is like the Hokage of this guild, and Angelo is like her right-hand man. And from what I've seen in the story, one does not simply fuck with Madame Naomi. She's strong as shit. But anyway, what's important here is what they're talking about. They end up talking about Sano. Well, first he talks about how they're being invaded by Groudon fighting Manga from the Banburi rebels. That's pretty important. But yeah, after that, they get to Sano. She brings up the Erota's arm and she's like, yo, you think he's ready? He has an important role to play in the world and shit. And Angelo tells her that he's still in development. But she shows uncertainty about this whole situation. Apparently this whole bring Sano to school thing is a part of some bigger elaborate plan. And at the center of it is the Erota's arm. Madame Naomi says is much more than they think it is. Apparently not even Sano really knows about the true origins of his arm. And they both agree to keep Sano oblivious about this whole situation for the time being, which is making me question a lot of things about what this arm does. Like in the beginning, we were given this whole idea that Sano's the chosen one. You know, he's supposed to don the infinite night. He's supposed to save the world from evil. But all this planning and shit seems a little bit too calculated, you know? And the fact that they're not telling Sano about his own freaking arm is just, what? I'm getting the vibe that they're trying to summon a god from his arm and the god is gonna take over Sano. I don't know, at first I feel like this arm was like some super powerful weapon, but now I feel like it's a double-edged sword. It could help Sano out, but it might also have the power to kill him. But I'm not sure, I'm just kind of going off of the vibes I'm getting right now. Now we cut back to Sano, who is with Sensei-kun. He finds a wanted poster for this guy named Gideon Banburi, otherwise known as the King of Rebels and the leader of the Banburi Rebels. However, Sano finds it strange because apparently back in the day there was something called the Ebony Peak War, and in that war, Sano heard that his father killed Gideon. But according to Mikhail, he somehow returned and he's causing problems again. And this gets Sano thinking, holy shit, if I can get a hold of Gideon, maybe I could find out more about my dad and how my whole family died. But to this, Mikhail's like, bro, are you dumb? Gideon is worth mad bread. How are you gonna find him? How are you even gonna fight him? Like, you're not making sense. And then he starts coming at the whole Trinity prophecy saying, bro, if you keep this whole Trinity charade up, you're gonna end up being used by this country. Which is kind of harsh when you think about it, but in all honesty, Mikhail's just trying to make sure that Sano's like good. You know, I feel like he sees what could happen if he falls into this whole Trinity chosen one prophecy, and he doesn't want him to get shafted in the process. Cause from what we've seen about how cutthroat this world already is, I could see people trying to take advantage of Sano because not only is he the chosen one, he's also just a nice dude. But before Mikhail can go any further, he's called by Madame Naomi. Mikhail tells Sano to sit tight because he's directionally impaired. Do not move until he comes back. But your boy is starving because he hasn't eaten all day. So this poor poor lost soul goes looking for the cafeteria, gets lost, and guess who he runs into? Freaking Groudon Whyt Manga of the Banburi Rebels, as he's trying to break into the guild and find research on the seed particles that apparently the guild is guarding. Now, Groudon doesn't give a fuck about Sano. He just lets it slide and dips, right? But Sano can't let shit go. So he confronts him right in front of the gate blocking the seed particle research. So Sano notices how he's repping the Banburi Rebel symbol, and he's trying to ask him about Gideon, trying to find out about the person that his father supposedly killed. But once again, Groudon does not care about Sano. In his head, this is just some random guard. And we already saw Groudon take down 2 guards, so like, what's one more? So he pulls out his wand, which is a cool-ass tri-sword. Never saw a weapon like this before, but fire as shit, and he tries to kill Sano. But surprisingly, Sano is holding his own. Like, he's not really attacking him or anything like that, but he's dodging out the way with his teleportation. He's doing what he's got to do to survive. But this guy, Groudon, is still a top-tier sorcerer, so he ends up bodying Sano, so Sano has to pull out the Erodus arm. So upon seeing the Erodus arm, Groudon starts talking shit. Apparently, he also does not believe in the prophecy, so he's like, yo, all that Trinity bullshit is nonsense, fam. You're not gonna save shit. So Sano's that ass like, oh, word? Teleports on his back, used some move that I do not understand called Holy Ghost Ripple, and bodied his fucking soul. Like, I don't know if that's what actually happened, but that's what it looks like. However, Groudon is still alive, so don't worry about it. Sano did not catch a body in the first chapter. With that, Mikhail comes through, and he's like, boy, what the hell did I say about staying still? But to that, Sano gives him a monologue to answer that tirade he went on back when they were in his room. He's like, look, bro, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do here. They just say I'm the Trinity. I don't know what this means to be the Trinity. There are some people who believe me. There are some people who don't believe me. There are some people who put a bounty on my fucking head. Like, I don't know what's going on. But I can tell you this cycle of hate and anger and violence is not solving anything. So what I'm gonna do as a Trinity is find the people that killed my father and forgive them to end the cycle of violence. And people, say what you want, I fuck with this heavy, bro. I know there are those who like their hard-ass protagonist who's all about the smoke and wants nothing but revenge, but this is a beautiful way to look at it, son. This protagonist is so self-aware, and I appreciate that. And I think that's why I was getting the Avatar vibes, because Sano, in a way, kind of reminds me of Aang. Kept away from the outside world, has a bunch of questions about what his destiny is, but above it all, he wants to do right by the world, not by killing the bad guys, but trying to make them see a better way. And folks, if you want to find out what happens next, you're gonna have to read the manga for yourself. Man, I honestly thought I was gonna cover more chapters, but I didn't realize how fucking thick chapter 1 was. Yeah, that was all in chapter 1. Everything that happened was all chapter 1, which is, I don't know, that's a lot, right? I like that it's a lot. It's a good chunk of story and plot to like really get me into the whole series and everything. But yeah, man, jeez, just chapter 1. But thoughts, opinions. Honestly, like I said in the beginning of the video, I feel like this is a story where if more people give it a read, this can truly become one of the greats. I feel like chapter 1 already gave us a nice bit of world building, discovery into who Sano is as a person, but not giving us too much so that we still have reason to keep reading and find out more. We got a taste of the friends that he's gonna make on this journey, and we only get more insight into them as the story goes on. And bro, one of the most obvious things, this art is pristine, fam. Like everything from the line art to the colored pages, the choreography, the environment, it all looks so professional. And it only makes me more excited to see how the more serious fights are gonna get in this story. But before I leave you guys, stay tuned for some more insight from the creator of the manga himself.
Thanks, Marcus, for having me on the channel. And hello, everyone. I'm Adunze Ogugwo, aka Whyt Manga TV here on YouTube. And I'm the writer and illustrator of Apple Black, volumes 1, 2, 4 available. Well, the 4th in November. I've always wanted to tell stories, and I've been thinking about Apple Black for years. It has gone through many iterations and many forms, different names even, characters looking different, for almost a decade now. And I think as the years have gone by, at least up until the point of the first release, I've just been improving on a lot of aspects of the story and just developing as an artist and storyteller myself to bring forth the product that we have today. Is it similar to what I envisioned all those years ago? No, but there are some aspects within the skeleton of the story that are still there and remain. Similarities with Sano and Aang? Each character plays a similar role in their respective stories, but beyond that, and I guess some of the kind, but beyond that, I'd say both characters are pretty warm-hearted and kind, at least initially, and they do tread the waters of a fish out of water a little bit. But this is actually the first comparison to Aang I've received. I've gotten Eren, I've gotten Sasuke, but both characters didn't necessarily play a role into crafting the character I have today. But Sano is much more warmer, kind-hearted, socially awkward, cannot talk to girls and doesn't even understand why. But at the same time, he's unpredictably wise and has his moments. He does take on some of the traditional shonen elements here and there, but things about him do stand out, which I like. Even his goal and his approach to accomplishing it is, I think, quite unique, and I'm trying to do it in a way where it's not too preachy, and it's one where maybe he is naive, and we kind of explore that throughout the story. The main character of Onimusha 3, if anybody remembers that from PlayStation, probably has more of a role, at least visually in the character design, as an influence on Sano than pretty much anybody else we've mentioned. I did have a video drawing a draft, or multiple drafts, of what a future Sano would look like in a time skip. So the short answer is yes, there will be a time skip at some point. For the whole series, I see everything running within like a 23 volume series. I'm not trying to do like a 1,000 volume thing like a One Piece. We don't do that here. But 23, and there's also like a really nice number for even narrative reasons why I think 23 would be a sweet spot. And within the 23, there will be a time skip. And a lot would happen during those few years. And so a lot of characters, including Sano, are quite different. The Saturday AM multiverse will play a role, but not as significant as you might think. It'll be something that is quite noticeable. It'll be something that I draw attention to, or it's kind of like an Easter egg. But it wouldn't be done in a way where you absolutely have to go read Saturday Wars, which will be coming out in 2024, to actually understand anything that's happening in Apple Black. So it'll be done in clever ways where both worlds are acknowledging each other, but Apple Black will be primarily its own thing. Just to answer the question, will it come into play? Yes, but it's not something where a bunch of Saturday AM characters will be woven into the story in a very heavy canon way. Hopefully that made sense, but technically, yes. Beyond just the post-credit scenes, and for all our books, pretty much all our books, maybe outside of maybe one or two, our books have post-credit scenes, and some of them point towards this Saturday multiverse and what we plan to do with that. And it's basically going to be our Infinity War, our end game, if you will, but for manga and our characters. We actually have had talks with networks about an anime, not just for Apple Black, but for other things as well. Apple Black anime, Clock Tracker anime, Saturday Wars anime. Things are in the works, but obviously it's still very early. More focused now on getting the stories right, getting people to buy our books, therefore giving us more leverage in making those deals. And then an anime will come. But deals, even right now, literally, talks are being had. Dream Studio, look. It's not like if a studio came today, I'd be like, no, Mappa, no, Bones, you're not what I envisioned. Like, if it's gonna look good in the end, I'll take it. As long as it's done right, it has the sick animation with the moments that maybe go viral on Twitter and stuff like that. As long as it looks really good, I'm good. I even imagine an adaptation of Apple Black taking a few liberties, giving a slightly different experience to an anime, which I'll be open to. Hell, I'd love to be in the producer room and play that role as well. But as to what studio, I'm not too pressed on that. However, I do like Mappa, as well as whatever studio did Mob Psycho or the first season of One Punch Man. Peace!
Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy, super future Black Mastadonte. Yeah, that video was recorded in my last apartment. Y'all, most of you guys probably already know. I recently moved, so this is my new spot. Don't worry, I'll have a whole video explaining everything that happened. For now, let's focus on Apple Black. If you want to read the manga for yourself, check the description below. I'll put the link to the Saturday AM app where you could read the manga yourself and much more, like Clock Strikers, Oblivion Rouge. The catalog is abundant, fam, and I'm definitely gonna end up trying a lot and definitely doing reviews on this channel. Also, shout out to Whyt Manga for joining me and answering all those questions. Really appreciate you. Also, thank you so much for, you know what, I'm sitting down, I even I didn't even bring the mangas to show you guys. Hold up, I'll be right back. All right, cool. With editing magic, I will appear instantly. But yeah, appreciate you for sending me these copies of Apple Black's volumes 1, 2, and 3. Bro, volume 1, I was like, cool, right? Right now, I just finished volume 2, and I'm about to get into volume 3, and listen, what I told you, that ain't gonna get you ready for what's about to happen in this story, fam. This shit gets so insane, my god. A part of me wants to do another video where I review volume 2 as well, or I don't know, review all of volume 1 and then go into volume 2, because my god, bro, this shit picks up like crazy, and I'm so excited to see where it goes. Which is why I reiterate, if you want to read Apple Black for yourself, check the description, click on that link, do yourself a favor, I'm dead ass. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like, subscribe if you want to see more of me, hit that bell to stay notified of whenever I upload new content, and in the comments below, give me some other manga recommendations. I'm trying to organize my reading list so I can read more efficiently and read the things that I want to read more often, so I'm down to try out some other recommendations. This is probably going to bite me in the ass later, I feel like it is. Shout out to my wonderful patrons, thank you guys so much for supporting me through these hard times. For real, your monthly donations mean the world. If you want to also become a patron and get dope perks like watch Honest Gaming History early, watch reviews like this early as well, then you could head to the Patreon link in the description below. But with that being said, y'all, I am off this. Also, I know what's gonna happen to the link Honest Gaming History. I'm still working on it. It's gonna come out a little bit later than expected, but it's definitely coming out this year. That's all I can promise you. All right, peace. Oh, what am I doing? Be easy, stay lit, stay healthy out there, Black Lives Matter, and don't forget, you can do whatever the hell you put your mind to. All it takes is practice and time. Peace out, y'all.